All right, let's get into it right here. I think I gotta press the button. Stop the Final Fantasy music. It goes so hard though. I love it. I love it. Button. Where's my button? It's there. Button is also there. And then the last button that I have to press is this one. Okay, that was weird. Let's try that again. One more time. That's not it. Damn it. The button is completely broken, chat. It's a broken button. I don't know what I did. It's supposed to do... No? Alright, whatever. Whatever, we're getting into it here. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Can we please just make this work and then turn off studio mode? There we go. There we go. All right, so we're going to start off with some Hassan tent. Just like to see, he's got this story. He's been covering it, and we'll see where we'll go from there. We're also going to cover Trump's speech and what I'm calling the business plot, the version 2.0. So in the 30s or 40s, there was a business plot to take over the government from Franklin Delano Roosevelt. There were a bunch of business-minded assholes that did not like Roosevelt's policies and wanted to reverse them. And to do that, they enlisted one Smedley Butler, the nominative leader of the Bonus Army, thinking that Smedley Butler, you know, the Bonus Army had kind of been promised a bonus for serving in World War I, and they'd never gotten the bonus, right? So they camped out in front of the White House in Washington to try to, and they got chased off by the National Guard. They got chased off by soldiers, basically. Yeah, they thought they could get Smedley Butler to, you know, to do a coup, and it turns out that Smedley Butler didn't want to do that, and he released, he revealed the plot, and so that for that reason, the business plot never happened. But these assholes that did the plot, they never went to jail. They were too powerful, right? Roosevelt had to kind of, you know, be like, all right, you know, we're not going to go after you, but, you know, we're also not going to let you take over the country. But now the businesses, the millionaires, the billionaires, they have taken over the country. That's what the Trump administration version 2.0 is. That is who he's naming as his officials. There's, you know, Elon Musk, and then just on down the line, a ton of billionaires, a ton of rich assholes. And, you know, very much in line with the CEO of United Healthcare. Like, that is who controls the country right now. The CEOs, the millionaires, the billionaires, the scumbags, right? And so, yeah, they finally caught, apparently, and identified this adjuster. We're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to take a look at what we can expect for the billionaire, the Trump administration 2.0 powered by billionaires. So, yeah, not getting off to a very populist start so far. Let's see what Hassan's got for us.
Listen, dude, listen. He is exactly the type of motherfucker that like loves Elon but hates healthcare CEOs. Okay?
That's what I'm saying. That describes way too much of the right wing. They think that they're anti-establishment. They think that they're populist, but they are literally glazing up millionaires and billionaires. And people like Elon Musk, who actually got rich, not because he sold, you know, a business genius or he sold a lot of products, but because he's, you know, essentially getting paid by the government.
Hey, I need
like that's tax dollars that is lining Elon Musk's pocket.
to understand.
It's a little bit ironic that Republicans glaze this guy up so hard.
Like, it is kind of hilarious.
One might even say Hitlerious, but then one might be banned from Twitch. I don't know.
I'm saying it. I thought I was going to talk about like Daniel Penny and many others issues today, you know, but I do think that we're probably going to have to address this. let me just say I took a sigh of relief when I found out that this dude definitely not a Hasanabe head. Okay, definitely not. So that's good. Okay, that's good. We're good. All right, let's blast off and let's get right into it. This is like short and sweet. You know what I mean? I do find it very. I mean, I don't find it odd, and I do find it a little bit concerning that political violence is almost so.
Wait, motherfucker's name is Luigi Mansion? That's not a real dude. Okay, chat, I gotta say it. I'm gonna endorse this conspiracy theory here and say they didn't get the right guy. They made this dude up. The dude's name is Luigi Mansion. Luigi Mangione. Mangione. You know, that's basically Luigi's Mansion in Italian. That's a genitive. Mangione, the genitive form for mansion. Luigi, obviously a reference to the popular video game character. That's not a real dude. That's like, it's like as if somebody that had a legitimate like bigotry towards Italian was asked to write an Italian character. Like, what's his name? And he'd be like, Luigi. Like, he doesn't want to be obvious and say Mario. He's gonna say Luigi. He's gonna be, he's gonna say, what's his last name? Mangione? Mansion? Is it Mansion?
Universally done by the right that like even when you got that kills a CEO, he's like he's like Joe Manchin's Italian half brother. A lot of right-wing associations
or half nephew, something like that.
Like, it's crazy. What is going on? Even labor militancy is only being done in this country in the future by right-wingers, I think. Okay, this dude has an insane background, but before we get started, his name is Luigi Mangione. That's right. The person of interest.
Okay, so on the real, Mangione probably has something to do with eating, right? It's like in French, mange, it's to eat. Mangione, eater. No, this is not a real guy. I swear to God, this is not a real guy. I don't think they got him, chat. I think the real dude's on the loose. I don't know.
That is under arrest for the United Healthcare CEO shooting.
I also don't want to. I don't want to believe that the adjuster is actually like a Elon simp and a right winger and just a pathetic piece of manosphere trash. Right? I don't want to believe that.
Is Luigi Mangione? Okay, he is out of his mind, yacked in the gills.
There he is. It's yoked Luigi.
Yacked to the goddamn gills. Incredibly Italian. And I mean, 10% body fat percentage, like that
looks like 12.
It's pretty solid, looking fit, looking tight. Okay, great eyebrows, very powerful. I think that's literally what got him.
Okay, so chat said he's a hot guy. If this is it, I mean, yeah, but I think it's a fake guy. I don't think it's real.
High key.
I don't think there's anything real about this.
Is what those goddamn Italian caterpillars right there is probably what got him caught. Because honestly, people that have been in a 10-mile radius of this were like, oh, dude, that's the eyebrow guy. So the moment that they saw those eyebrows in that taxi cab.
It's not like that look is that rare, though.
People were like.
There's kind of a lot of guys that look like that.
Everyone in Pennsylvania was alerted to this presence. Okay? Anyway, yeah, should have shaved his eyebrows and I guess that would have been hard, but that would have been hard for him to stay undercover.
Look, you just gotta ask dig up Sid Barrett, who I'm sure is still alive, and get him to tell you how to shave. Like, right, this is if you've ever seen Pink Floyd's The Wall, the protagonist, who's apparently supposed to be former bandmate Sid Barrett, he shaves his eyebrows as part of his transformation into the fascist rock star.
With the shaved eyebrows. What are his right-wing associations? I didn't see anything wrong with what he's posted. He's like a Peter Thiel fan.
I didn't see anything wrong with that. Yeah.
He doesn't like Jordan Peterson.
Look, we're all on the Peter Thiel dole these days. You know, we're all the Dime Square crew.
From what I've seen, and we'll dive further into it. But like, I think he's like he likes Lex Friedman. He's like he's boring. I'm sorry, Lex Friedman is the most boring person I've ever fucking had to watch. He's like a right-wing podcast bro, and kind of.
So the real question is he a Trump voter? And I mean, based on based on what we know about him so far, he kind of seems like it.
What is this?
Maybe an RFK to Trump kind of dude, right? He was supporting RFK really holding out for RFK, and then he supported Trump when RFK endorsed him.
This is the greatest day of my life. Wait, what? That's Luigi Mangione. This person just posted. Wait, did he attend their wedding or something? He has Mein Kampf on his Goodreads.
Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know about the Goodreads stuff.
People are saying centrist. He does. Peter Thiel, if you don't know, is nobody's centrist.
But
like, look, if you're establishment pilled, you know, he might be a little hard to decode. But if you really understand Peter Thiel and that whole neo-reactionary movement that he represents, it's far right shit.
We'll see. So funny that half the CEO killers timeline is just retweeting this guy. Oh yeah. It's really interesting.
Tim Urban, can somebody tell? Wait, is that the guy that wrote Woke Mind Virus?
People are trying to figure out why he was at the most recent Pokemon Worlds in Hawaii since it says he lived there. He follows AOC and Ezra Klein, but he also follows like
Ezra Klein.
I'm gonna get into it. He follows a lot of like right-wing CEOs too. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting. Oh shit, the shelf is private now. They privatized it. No. Chat.
Somebody's got to have that.
Log everything and send it to me. All right. What is this? No, one of my fishies got sucked into the filter. This guy can't catch a break. I do think.
Chat. Can I just put out a general order for you to log everything and send it to me? I'm not trying to make folders on anyone or anything. That's Ethan Klein's gig now, and maybe Vosh's gig. It's everybody but me's gig. But like, I need this stuff. Like, we missed out on Destiny. A bit where he and Dan were doing a podcast together, and they're literally like, trim this out of the podcast, and they did, and they missed it. Sunday got it. Sunday's chat fed it to him. Chat, do we have to make a cathedral? Do we have to make a big old Discord? Look, get in the freaking Discord. All right, that's the only way that this is working. You got to get in the Discord, get in the robot Shenji, and then you're gonna send me stuff, and it's gonna be cool. Right, here we go. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to send you a link. And you're going to click on this link. And you're going to get in the Discord because I need your help. I'm recruiting you to send me stuff, all of this stuff, right? Anything, anything that might get taken down, right? Because there's too much shit like this Goodreads, right? That's what Hassan is talking about. He had a profile. What the fuck? Hidden use copy button? Is that what I posted? Hidden use copy button? Fuck me. Copy. Jesus Christ. There we go. There we go. Get in the robot Shenji. Okay. I'm gonna post it here too. Boom. There we go. Wait, is that it? No, hidden use copy button. What the fuck is this? I have never had this happen before. I am using copy button. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Let's try this again. Invite. Use copy button, but I did and it copied the hidden. Oh my god, why does my shit not work anymore? Does it really just post hidden use copy button? Can somebody post the Discord link in the chat? What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm so... Generate a new link. Hidden use copy button. Discord, your shit is broken. Why is it like that? Can anybody figure out hidden use copy button? What the fuck? I am so pissed off. Oh, anyway, let's start this again. Somebody, if anybody can figure out how to post the fucking link to...
being a Lindy man most likely is the reason why this dude did the damn thing, by the way. What is this? Holy shit, he follows... The last rated book I saw was the Lorax. You are now turning on him because he's Italian? Listen, dude. Listen. He is exactly the type of that like loves Elon but hates healthcare CEOs. Okay? I need you to understand. Like, it is kind of hilarious that it's just like we got... Oh God, there's so much to talk about. We'll do his reading list. We'll do his Goodreads. Okay, we'll do his Goodreads that's now privated. He obviously reviewed the Unabomber book.
Nobody, Bueller, is chat alive?
He's got a good bit on.
Is chat fucking alive? Holy shit!
Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse-Five. So that's like he's all over the place politically. Okay, which is so American. And I need you to understand this. It is the most American to be politically all over the map. No one has a well thought out, consistent, clear-eyed, ideological perspective. But what's even more interesting for me, okay, is the fact that this guy who read Atlas Shrugged who has Atlas Shrugged on his must read, like potentially want to read books, okay, and he's a Lindy man, and is literally a Lindy man, is all over the map politically.
Nobody, nothing.
When I first saw his account, I was like, there is no goddamn way. He's an Andrew Huberman fan. When I first saw his account, I was like, there is no goddamn way. He's an Andrew Huberman fan. He's retweeting Peter Thiel posts.
Is it because I have streamer mode on? Is that it?
Talking about AI, he follows Sam Altman. Okay. When I logged it, as soon as the name came out, he had like
we got it
or something. And since then, he has gone up.
All right, thanks for the help, chat.
24,000 followers. And I find
there we go. I did it myself.
But also very American. Here he is, Lex Friedman. It's amazing how caffeine really is the only drug that has achieved this level of social acceptance. Okay, he likes reading books. He's a tech guy. Like these are some of the things that we have figured out. He was a Hasanabi head. Top of the hour, Dankies. Yeah, he's not a Hasanabi head. Okay, calm down. That's not a real tweet. Shut the fuck up. American politics is so schizophrenic as always, okay? Always. Never forget that. It's just like it's a very common very common thing that happens all the time. You will never be able to
what's going on? Are you watching the stream?
Immediately clock and identify a person's political associations, especially one that even takes like
look, here's what's going on, all right? Stuff gets posted to the internet, sometimes by accident, sometimes stuff that people don't want shared, right? People post their L's, right? An example is that Destiny and Dan were on the Anything Else podcast, and they accidentally revealed that Dan had just straight up lied on his email to Bloomberg. He got an article written on him, and he complained about them getting something wrong. They hadn't gotten it wrong. It was, he had lied and they caught him in a lie. He posts like, you better take this down because it's wrong and I'm going to sue you, right? And then Destiny and him figure out that actually Bloomberg was right and they were wrong. And Destiny goes like, trim out this section. Just like this guy apparently, or somebody around him, somebody around Luigi, took down his Goodreads. His Goodreads had a whole bunch of books on it, including Mein Kampf, right? So Hassan, unable to get the Goodreads page with Mein Kampf, asks his chat, hey, you got to log everything. If anybody has this, if anybody's recorded this, if anybody can screenshot this, right? Maybe they'll bring it up. Maybe they'll look at his reading list. Somebody must have copied it. Somebody must have saved it. Somebody must have archived it. So I'm just asking you to do the same thing. How are you going to do the same thing? By joining the Discord, of course. By joining the Discord. That's why I posted the Discord link. That's why I told you to get in the robot. That's what's going on. For anybody who is unclear.
Direct action.
Why I'm frantically freaking out. Also, Discord made it. Apparently, when you're in streamer mode, you cannot grab your invite link. So,
okay, but here it is. Luigi Mangioni's review: Industrial Society and Its Future. Okay,
yeah, Luigi Mansion.
You know what? Let's get started on like the regular media coverage first, but and then I'll dive into his back.
So I'm gonna kind of use Hassan's coverage of this as a way to jump into other things. If we see something interesting, we'll go to that. We'll take a look at that. If there's something that they can't find, now I don't expect that anybody in chat has got Luigi Mangioni's Goodreads, but that would be awesome if you did. No, you'll just send me the poop sock if you'll send me the Rickroll, right?
Okay, but before I do,
you'll send me the Gnome.
I just wanted to play this song for you.
Se andrà a guardare un video e poi giù 3 ore a commentarlo sul suo
This is a
stream.
Italiaphobia free space.
Orsù, che stiamo aspettando?
Okay. I don't know if this is a free copyright free space, right?
Assassination. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Let's take a look at the special report from ABC News.
Hi, I'm Diane Macedo. We are coming on the air because multiple law enforcement officials say a person of interest is now
Mamma mia!
being questioned in the New York City murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. They say he's identified as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione. Here's New York City Mayor Eric Adams with an update.
Of United Health.
Am I mad at you? Why would I be mad at you? I'm mad at Discord. I'm mad at the internet, but I'm not mad at you.
Was the victim of a senseless act of violence. Our officers have been working around the clock. Many of them did not go home to pursue this individual. It was crucial that we were able to remove him off the streets of America, and we were going to seek.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I felt really unsafe. Gioforio, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, my friend. Gioforio! The Italians are on a come up big time. Do you understand? Wait. Oh, I thought you were. I thought he replied to this or something. Why mafia isn't a aesthetic, a thread? I cook the pizza. Go f yourself for real. I can't with these people anymore. I hate you all from the bottom of my heart. Ignorant pieces of shit.
Jeez.
I cook the meatball. Hey, passa the linguini. It's a mia Mario.
I love that Hassan's the one that's yelling in chat's like, are you mad at us?
Mamma mia. Yeah. Please check in on Mario.
Do I ever sound like that?
Please, yeah.
Him out, no matter where he was at the time. And so this is a strong person of interest. The police commissioner and
he's strong, all right. He's right. He's strong.
We'll go over where we are right now in the investigation. He matches the description of the identification we've been looking for. He's also in possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this incident.
Hugo says, I love me some Luigi Mangione. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's Luigi's Mansion.
We do it. Good old-fashioned police work. The chief of detectives.
Daddy Ramson says people are calling him a hero. There was a look-alike competition. He's being glorified. Look, I don't have the smoke for this guy that I do for the medical establishment. This guy killed one person. Okay, let's just put this in perspective. How many people do you think that United Healthcare has killed? Right? This is somebody that killed essentially. Again, there's no, I mean, like this guy, you know, like I said, he's got smoke for the United Healthcare CEO. He doesn't have smoke for Peter Thiel. He has loves and kisses for Peter Thiel. He is glazing up Peter Thiel. He's glazing up Elon Musk, right? So, you know, he's not like a good guy. I'm not, you know, singing his praises or anything. However, yeah, I feel like I've got a little bit more smoke for the, you know, CEO that denies people the care that they need to live, right?
And the police commissioner.
It's the thing about it is that this insurance adjustment has occurred in proximity to a greater crime, and the greater crime is all the Americans that are denied healthcare coverage to make this guy's profits, right? So yeah, a little bit more smoke for him. That's all. We're not glazing up the Luigi Mangione guy. I'm making fun of him.
Made the decision to release as much of a photo that we had at the time. We sent it across the country.
Daddy Ransom, you want to tell me what war you were a veteran in?
And
because I think that matters too. If you look at the United States history, you might notice that there are some wars that were justified, right? World War II comes to mind. Were you by chance a World War II veteran, Daddy Ransom?
Someone, a McDonald's employee, did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something. And they did.
Can you tell us about the Battle of the Bulge?
And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with.
Because I will definitely give you your flowers, Daddy Ransom, if you are a World War II veteran.
Cliff super chatted $9.99. I think it's good to remind the corporate aristocracy they have fleshy human bodies and the immortality they all dream about is just BS.
That's a good look. That's a cautionary tale, right? For the corporate class. Yeah, we're not glorifying anything. We're not justifying anything. Like I said, I don't like. I mean, this guy seems like a confused weirdo. A confused this isn't class consciousness. This isn't a working class hero. But in the proximity that he is to the to somebody who's responsible for a lot more pain and suffering, a lot more deaths than Luigi's mansion over here, I think I got more smoke for the. I think I got more smoke for the corporate class. Maybe.
This case. I want to now turn it over to the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
I think it's really up that they revealed this guy. I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a how, but listen. BDS is he went to Starbucks first, got nabbed there, then he got caught.
Daddy Ransom, can you tell me, were you in the European theater or the Pacific theater? Can you tell me which part of World War II you participated in?
At McDonald's in Allentown. Okay, BDS would have saved him.
Look, I'm just trying to help you, flex. Your
BDS would have saved him, and he didn't do it. Okay,
I'm trying to help you flex your valor here.
He didn't do it. That's what you get. I mean, listen, free him, but also, he's a dumb who used the same fake ID. Okay, Central Committee, just because.
Yo, look at that. Wait, is that for real? Is Hassan going after Mike from PA?
BDS would have saved him. And he didn't do it. Okay.
Wait, sorry, what is this? Oh, yeah, if he had boycott, divested, and he would have never gone to McDonald's. I get it.
Okay. BDS would have saved him. And he didn't do it. Okay. He didn't do it. That's what you get. I mean, listen, free him, but also, he's a dumb who used the same fake ID. Okay, Central Committee, just because this man is, not ideologically aligned with someone like myself or someone like yourself, it doesn't mean you have to be so mean to him, okay? And I know it's partially because you hate Italians, okay?
I mean, that's true. I've heard this about Mike from PA a lot.
I understand that. It's
he also has bad taste in hummus, apparently, Mike from PA.
Phobia that you are exhibiting. But let's just work through it. Let's try to get a better understanding of what motivated this man to behave in the ways that he did. Okay? Oh, not Allentown, Altoona. Do not get my beloved Toontown names mistaken. First of all, Pennsylvania is such
it wasn't anyway.
Fake ass state.
Somebody told me something about Altoona, all right? And chat can correct me if this is wrong or right. Is Altoona the place where they have a type of pizza that is not... It's like shitty tomato sauce on white bread with a slice of American cheese, burnt on top of it? Is that Altoona?
There's not one but two different tune related.
Am I thinking of the right place?
What kind of Looney Tunes nonsense is happening over there? Y'all don't have better names? My bad.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Earlier this morning in Altoona, Pennsylvania, members of the Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old male, on firearms charges. At this time...
Yeah, I mean, there's two mistakes that he made, assuming this is the guy, right? There's two mistakes that he made so far, and that is that, he had his mask on, which in and of itself, right? There's not a lot of people masking up anymore, so it's not really... It does sort of, well, yeah, he took it off. He took it off. He got photoed with it off. Somebody said that he took it off to get the number, to give his number to some girl or something like that. Is this true? But that mistake, and then maybe the ID.
Believed to be our person of interest in the brazen targeted murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was
I'm sorry.
and was
I didn't say flex your dollar. I'm not under the impression that the that the U.S. military gives you a lot of money for serving or anything like that. I know some veterans who are very much struggling. Yeah, I said your valor. I said your valor, right? Because I just don't want anybody to think that you were involved in some bullshit conflict, let's say in Iraq or something like that, when you were clearly fighting the good fight against the Axis powers in World War II, right? You were in the good war, the one good war that the United States has fought.
recognized by an employee who then called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting.
This is what Altoona is famous
pizza,
for.
and then there is pizza.
Oh my God! There we go.
So peaceful up here, but now there are freaking cons.
There we go. There it is. I told you, chat. Somebody warned me about this. What the fuck is this shit?
Called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting.
This is what Altoona is famous for.
Okay, that's pizza. That's pizza.
And then there is.
What the fuck is that? Okay, so much to say about this, all right? Now, I can't tell much about the crust. It's not white bread, though. It doesn't look like it's just a white bread crust. I am noticing, yes, the slices of American cheese, which is not cheese. It's probably plastic. Look, you'd probably get more cheese by keeping the plastic wrapper on the American cheese, right? I feel like there's more plastic, in other words, in the cheese product that's wrapped in the plastic than there is in the plastic. I feel like the plastic would unironically be tastier. Don't take that to the bank. Don't actually try that as a recipe. I am joking, chat. But I'm also noticing that the toppings to this pizza, which the green bell pepper and salami, are those the toppings? The salami does not look cooked, first of all. All right. And the green bell pepper, well, why is it not on top of the... Why is it not on top of the cheese? Why are the toppings not on top of the cheese?
It's pizza.
I got so many problems with this pizza.
Altoona Sicilian is what Altoona Hotel pizza was like back.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the radicalizing principle, dude. This is like, if I'm an Italian
So wait, that's his hometown? No wonder he went off.
man, and I find out that this is what they've done to my most significant
Oh, I get it. Okay.
cultural artifact, I'm gonna lose it too. Oh my God! What the is this, bro? What the hell are they?
Wait, what else is under there? Is that a pickle? Are there pickles on this fucking pizza? That doesn't look like a green bell pepper. Do you see the impression there, chat? It looks like a pickle or a jalapeno.
Doing in Altoona?
Which, I mean, a jalapeno I can respect. If you eat jalapenos on your pizza, it's not my cup of tea. This actually is my cup of tea. It's coffee / tea, because I didn't apparently clean the coffee out of my my tea press. But yeah, what is under there?
Hey, yo, look at this shit. What?
It does look like a pickle. Would you really put would you cook a pickle? Chat, one in chat if you would cook a pickle. I don't know if I can get with that.
You know, this reminds me of George W. Bush's favorite meal, which was I think a pizza cheeseburger, like a cheeseburger pizza. That's what he used to eat every night. George W. Bush ate like a child. And I feel like this is the version of that. He was there for his next hit. Yeah, he went to Altoona to kill this guy next. It's like your crimes against Italians will be addressed today.
For customers at 29th Street Pizza Subs and more.
And it has yellow cheese on it we put Genoa salami under.
Pickles on pizza is very popular in Korea and Japan. Okay, so I'm being racist. No, I feel like, okay, look. I'm okay with an additional topping of pickles, okay? This is me, being open-minded, okay? This is me being accepting, all right? If you add the pickles after the pizza has been cooked, my problem is if you cook the pizza with the pickle, I think that your brain might fall out of your ass. I'm sure that could cause some health problems. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think you can do that. Jalapeno slice it. Yeah. It could be good on pizza. I would eat that. Battered and deep fried pickles. I've never tried that, Edwin. I got to give that a try. Okay, so maybe Edwin might have found the one exception to my hate of cooking pickles I don't think you should cook pickles.
underneath with green peppers.
But maybe that would be okay. Maybe deep fried and etc.
It's done very well for us.
Can you just lift the cheese? I want to know what's under there. We gotta do a forensic investigation on this pizza, Chad. I want to dissect this pizza and see how it's built.
And customers from Brooklyn, New York agree.
It's the best pizza from here.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. What the are we doing? Yeah, Elon Musk has been taking his son out as a little human shield nonstop since the CEO assassination. Is pretty funny. Like, he has literally been in public only with his son since that CEO assassination. He's like, hey guys, I just want to remind you that I am a human being. I am a father. I'm a human being. You know, please just remember. Don't look at his Goodreads list. No, I will be looking at his Goodreads list. But look at this Altoona McDonald's that he got popped at.
Suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the...
Wait, this was literally carrying that shit on? He didn't dump it?
Wait, Zara says deep fried pickles are incredible. Okay, I gotta try this then. I gotta try this. I mean, you can't knock it until you try it. I've already knocked it. Now I gotta try it.
Bro, you can learn anything online, okay?
Yeah, like I know this is a garnish. Narwhal by nature knows what I'm talking about.
You can literally learn.
I just don't think you can cook a pickle underneath a cheese on a pizza. I don't think that's a very good idea.
Anything online. I saw a video of like the Syrian rebels that were watching a
Did we ever figure out which theater of World War II our veteran in our resident veteran in chat was a part of?
YouTube tutorial on how to,
because we know that our veteran was part of one of the good wars, right? And that's the only one I can think of right now.
Fly a helicopter sitting inside of the cockpit of the helicopter. Okay. And now I'm beginning to realize that this guy was not a professional at all and just simply watched a YouTube video on how to carry out an assassination because...
Or maybe our veteran was part of Smedley Butler's bonus army. Who knows?
He should have watched more YouTube videos on how to, I don't know, hide the evidence. Why the... Yeah, I hate to do Monday morning quarterbacking here, but like the way he carried it out was pretty smooth. And then he turns around and he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Altoona. Like, by the time you get to Altoona, you could drop the gun anywhere at that point. You know what I mean?
He must have gone to Altoona to throw off the authorities, right? Because if the authorities, all they have on him is he's an Italian man, where's the last place that an Italian man would want to be? In the place where they've committed this travesty against pizza would be the answer.
Drop it in a river, dog. What are you talking about? Oh, shit. The mic is breaking again. I'm getting...
don't break your SM7Bs, Hassan.
Federal authorities are cooking my microphone. By the time you get to Altoona, you have already left. You have already left the state, okay? Dump it in a goddamn river, man, okay? Make it the
I don't know about that. Is this a good idea? Hassan's saying that he would have gotten away maybe if he had ditched his weapon. Isn't that usually how they find people, though? Like, they find the weapon, they fingerprint it.
Law enforcement, make it law enforcement the problem of law enforcement later down the line when someone is doing magnet fishing. You know what I mean? How the do you keep that with you? Was he going to go and kill other CEOs or something? What the was he doing? Get the eyebrows threaded, you know? Maybe shave it down a little bit. Do something. How can a leftist argue for pollution? Okay, man. Sometimes it's... You know,
yeah, we don't want lead in our water supply.
Sometimes you got to ditch the...
I mean, the lead was obviously not very good for the healthcare CEO.
Assassination weapon, okay? Dude thought he would get laid if he showed proof. This doesn't need to get more pussy, okay? What are you, crazy? Have you seen the way he looks? Like, I do not think... Turns out a mutual friend of mine...
Wait, how do we know it's pussy? How do we know it's not pussy?
Oh, this is from the prospect. Luke Coldstein says, turns out a mutual friend of mine went to high school with Mangione and was on the wrestling team with him. Says he was a class valedictorian.
I'm sorry, Hassan, it's pronounced Mangione. The E is silent. Luigi's Mangione.
He had back surgery a few months ago and went missing. No one had heard from him. Oh my God. Well, now we know what the motive is, it seems. He's an incel though? No, I've seen him with like a lot of ladies, dude. I don't think he was an incel.
I mean, he's definitely into some of the culture that incels would be into, but yeah, I don't think he's an incel.
I don't know. I mean, he might have been. We'll see. I'll dive into his background a little bit more because, like, looking at the podcast.
Okay, I'll get 11% body fat in that picture.
Oh, that's his sister? Okay. Well, look at
okay.
the podcast, looking at the podcast consumption, I could see him being like, you know, it seems like he was like incel adjacent on a lot of the podcasts that he was consuming, but like, I don't know if I don't think this guy.
Ditching the weapon means they have to find it first. Well, don't they usually find it?
As an incel, I think.
Like if he's gonna do that, he's got to find a really good place for it. Like he's got to be like.
Maybe like a men's right.
Like what would Dexter do, right?
Lightly, but I don't think he's an incel at all. But once again, do not try to understand the mind of someone who is a political operative in the United States of America. Wait, what? Who said his nipples are sharp? You need to be banned. Anyway.
Like he needs to put that thing into some kind of like a sulfuric acid mix, some kind of like a vat of like.
Avid reader of 295 books listed on Goodreads. Academically, he holds a
buried under a pile of manure, something that nobody wants to touch.
Master's and bachelor's degree in computer science from the University of Pennsylvania. Additionally, he gained recognition as a valedictorian at Gilman School in Baltimore, showcasing his academic excellence. His work includes contributions to machine learning and robotics, as evidenced by projects on GitHub. It makes sense. He was like a stem cell. He was like a jacked stem cell. So. Yeah, it makes sense why he would find himself captivated by when you have no humanities, when you have no formal humanities education, you find yourself in the.
Did they let you get away? STEM people in chat, did they let you get away with that? Look, as you know, when I was a humanities major, I still had to take some science courses, right? So what I'm wondering is, do STEM majors, don't they have to take some, like what, you got to take at least like English, like freshman English, right?
The throes of radicalization by the likes of Andrew Huberman and shit, and all of a sudden,
Dexter was bad at covering crimes. I never watched it.
It kind of stem cell adjacent. Yeah, here is a very famous tweet that we have to point to. He literally quote retweeted Elon Musk's favorite neo-Nazi here.
Wait, what is this? I got from chat here. Guy comes from great wealth, was a valedictorian in his prep high school, 2 degrees from Penn, went off the grid for 6 months and worried some by doing so. Dude must have had a mental break, possibly. Dexter is a fictional character, Midi Doctors wants to remind me.
Immigration won't solve anything. It's maybe a short-term solution at best. Japan will be fine as long as it stays Japanese, this guy says. I am yes, you are no. He is a famous neo-Nazi online. Elon Musk's favorite neo-Nazi, as a matter of fact. He quote retweets him and says, modern Japanese urban environment is an evolutionary mismatch for the human animal. The solution to failing birth rates isn't immigration, it's cultural. Encourage natural human interaction, sex, physical fitness, and spirituality. Ban Tenga fleshlights and Japan real ho custom porn star.
What the fuck? Oh, these are some bad takes, right? So yeah, he's talking about what? Japan's birth rate, which is pretty low. His literal thing is that like Japanese people are not physically fit enough, and that they are too that like sex toys are too available. Sold in Don Quixote grocery stores? Jesus Christ, I didn't know there was a grocery store called Don Quixote. Replace conveyor belt sushi and restaurant vending machine ordering with actual human interaction with a waiter. Oh my God. Okay, I don't know. This is he serious about this? Heavily stigmatized maid cafes. Come on, don't they? Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with maid cafes is. Other than it, if you work at one, you get really good at doing ketchup designs on omelets, right? That's what you got to do. You got to get really good at drawing things on an omelet with ketchup.
Pocket pussy being sold in Don Quixote grocery stores. Yeah, that's going to fix the problem, man. You're definitely right. Yeah, it's because the Japanese are too vociferously they're ravaging these sex toys that you can purchase at Don Quixote. And you know he's a weeb too, because he knows what.
Yeah, I feel like the dude's just got too many Japanese stereotypes running through his head to really be able to meaningfully opine on this issue.
Don Quixote is. If you know what Don Quixote is, you're a goddamn weeb. You're a otaku. Okay? Replace conveyor belt sushi restaurants, vending machine ordering with actual human interaction with a waiter. I'm willing to bet that there is.
Well, I mean, you know why that is like that, right? You okay? So here's the deal. The same reason that you got that you got like checkerless like checkout in groceries, right? If they can eliminate a job and pay less people, they will do it, even though that results in some shrinkage because people are, it's easier for people to abscond with items or accident. Oh, sorry, did I not pay for that? Right. But they'll do that, right? Because it saves them money. They got to pay less people, right? I mean, that's the reason for these, kind of not yet being purchasing things without interacting with somebody.
Like classic
dude's problem is capitalism, and he doesn't even realize it.
Dumbass otaku that doesn't even understand Japanese culture, especially because human interaction is so there's so much need for human interaction that like a big part of Japanese nightlife industry revolves around people that basically give that human interaction to you while you're engaging in social drinking, even if you are alone. Okay. So it's not the fact that there's too many conveyor belt sushi and restaurant vending machines. Dumbass. Replace 24/7 esports cafes with young males. Earn false fitness signals via Tekken fighting and Overwatch shooting games with athletics in school. Heavily stigmatized maid cafes where lonely salarymen pay young girls to dress in anime characters and perform anime dances for them. Revitalize traditional Japanese culture, Shintoism, Okinawan karate, onsen, etc. Bro, you got so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Heated that he doesn't understand Japan. That's one of your weebest moments. Yeah,
has he just seen the Karate Kid? Isn't that in the Karate Kid?
Like, I love talking about the Japanese birth rates, okay, without addressing Japanese work culture, capitalism, and also the tendency of developed nations across the board to run into this trap regardless, especially if they don't engage in any sort of migration. Like, this is what happens when you are a stem cell with no understanding, no political acumen whatsoever. But I digress. This is important to understand and acknowledge that the issue of healthcare is a unifying principle, is a unifying problem. This is why it is not surprising that this person is not like a card-carrying commie leftist, okay? 2 reasons for why it's not shocking to me that he is not a card-carrying leftist or whatever, but instead is this like indecipherable kind of right-wing guy, okay? 1, he's a stem cell, okay? No understanding of humanities, probably assumes that humanities are bad, okay? 2, the right dominates the space for political violence. They just dominate it. They own it. They dominate it. The right is so used to doing political violence that when you look at 2 of the Trump attempted assassins, Ryan Ruth, my NATO hero, okay, the #1 NATO defender, the one NATO voter, Ryan Ruth.
Yeah, now that's the weird guy, right? That's the second shooter. He was a Trump supporter in 2016, changed his mind by 2020, and what did he supported Nikki Haley, I think, in 2024. Yeah, weird dude.
And the other guy whose name I forgot, the one that shot at Trump and popped him in the ear. One was a registered Republican. The other one had voted for Donald Trump. Ryan Ruth had literally voted for Donald Trump.
And the other guy was too young to vote for Trump, but he, well, I don't know, actually. The other guy, the first shooter, kind of seemed like he might be maybe even to the right of Trump.
Like, obviously,
he just like, for his classmates said that you would talk to this guy and be like, "What are you into?" And he'd be like, "Politics." "Oh yeah, really? Who do you like?" And then if you whoever you said, he was like, "That sucks." Bernie Sanders, that sucks. AOC, that sucks. Trump, that sucks. Right? He just kind of a hater. So like, fuck knows who he was actually in favor of.
Obviously, Thomas Matthew Crooks. Yeah, that's his name. So,
yeah, the debate lord.
I feel as though the right is so used to the political violence and owning that space that they just kind of do violence to themselves. Can you?
It's right on right violence. Yeah.
That not a single person who went to Gilman is a leftist. I mean, it doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be a leftist at all. It doesn't matter. This reaffirms my position. Okay, this is my point. My point is this is not a left-right issue. Okay, this is definitely a class issue, and it certainly impacts even rich people from rich families. I've talked about this before. When I was broke and I worked at the Young Turks, I had health care. I had health care that was given to me by the company that I was paying for, right? And the patchwork solution to losing my job and to moving on to, full-time streaming as a career, the patchwork solution in that process was for me to be able to retain my health care, but pay for the entire premiums under what is known as COBRA, okay? That is the Democratic Party's patchwork solution to the healthcare problem, is that, at a time of financial uncertainty, we are giving you the opportunity to pay for the entirety of the premium that your work was paying for. So all of a sudden, I was paying like $600 a month when I didn't make that much money. It's insane. But another thing that I also found out in this process, once my COBRA expired and I had to get my own healthcare personally, self-employed healthcare, was the reality that while my financial situation had dramatically improved, okay, at that point when I was looking for healthcare, even if you have money in this country, healthcare is still, you can't even buy like the appropriate full tilt coverage as a person, as an individual, because the way that this process works is like you have to start a corporation and you have to literally get corporate healthcare. The premium healthcare is not given to you as a singular individual. It's crazy. So even if you have the money to pay for healthcare, they still do not give you the healthcare, at least in the state of California.
Yeah, it's a very broken system, and that's why it's not exactly surprising that even somebody on the libertarian right is going to be against, is going to have some, quite a bit of anger, I guess, for the system. We still don't know what maybe the radicalizing event was. I mean, one would assume that maybe this guy got denied something in his healthcare. Maybe someone in his family more likely got denied. There's some kind of incident that he had with maybe United Healthcare that caused him to take this action. But yeah, like anybody can tell you that, even a libertarian, if you're a libertarian, your solution to all the world's problems is like there's probably too much regulation. Well, can we get the government to back off from that? Maybe if we let the free market take control, then obviously the best health insurance that made the people the most satisfied, that would take over. It's just that we got too much regulation. It's the exact opposite of any kind of real solution. But even this guy, as libertarian pilled as he was, could see that that corporate healthcare is bullshit.
Oh, obviously, regardless of the fact that this kid probably comes from a relatively well-off family, he went to a private school in Baltimore, he still got...
most libertarians do, so...
He still got over by American healthcare, okay? That's it. Yeah, his brother is seemingly a Republican politician in Maryland as well, and it's not, Look, there's a very sad story here. Turns out a mutual of mine that went to high school with Mangione and was on the wrestling team with him says he was class valedictorian. Hey, are you okay? Nobody's heard from you in months, and apparently your family's looking for you. Thinking of you in prayers every day in your name. Know you are missed and loved. Hey, man, I need you to call me. I don't know if you are okay or just in a super isolated place and have no service, but I haven't heard from you in months. You made commitments to me on my wedding. Make commitments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly. Like I think he had to get back surgery and just like fell off the map. His Twitter account, I think this might have been his cousin or something, but his Twitter account literally has his Twitter header literally has spinal surgery X-rays.
Damn.
Luigi Mangione's Twitter header has this X-rayed as Goodreads has these books. He must have gone through some kind of personal hell with insurance. Crooked.
So yeah.
Pain industry and getting on the road to recovery. Back Mechanic by Dr. Stuart McGill. He gave it a 2 stars. Crooked, outwitting the back pain industry and getting on the road to recovery. He didn't like that book. I guess he didn't like the book because it said it didn't tell him at any point that the way to outwit the healthcare industry is by taking matters into your own hands. That's why he gave it 2 stars. Where he was like, yeah, no, I am not. He was not a fan of the book. So all jokes aside, this is a real moment of radicalization for a lot of Americans. Yeah. Mohammed says, Jim Bro, who's mad at insurance for how they're covering his injuries. I get it. Yeah, if you guys recall, when I first went back on my fitness journey, okay, once the pandemic lockdown restrictions were lifted and I went back to working out, I had a shit ton of injuries because I had not moved my body enough. I was, not eating enough protein. Multitude of different factors at play here.
Well, you definitely fixed that problem, Hassan. If you don't know, Hassan, half the time when you watch his stream, he's pissing, and the other half of the time he's eating chicken. Right? It's pretty much all he eats is and this is like a gym bro thing to eat. What is it, like boiled chicken? Is that what they do? They want chicken, but they don't want it with any oil or fat or anything.
But I recall going to the doctor for a slip disc.
Oh God, that's rough. Harry says in Europe, most healthcare is free. You can still purchase private healthcare if you prefer. They will often work with the NHS to provide patient care. Yeah, I mean, the way that they do stuff in the United States is crazy, and it's all about profits. It's all about protecting profits, and it's all about the power that corporations have in our society. We have what is called a democracy, but what in functional reality has become closer, more akin to an oligarchy.
And I was very frustrated, not with the healthcare coverage in that situation, because I am fortunate enough to be able to afford such things without even thinking about it at this point. But if you remember, I went to the doctor, and one of the things that was incredibly frustrating, and now I don't have this back pain anymore, thank God. But one of the things that was incredibly frustrating was the tendency of a lot of medical staff to, instead of subscribing physical therapy, they were just trying to medicate me. And I am obviously pro modern medicine, as you guys know. This is something that I am not like an RFK Jr. type of person. But one thing, did I say subscribing? Sorry, prescribing. But you should subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or you can get gifted a sub as well. Okay? But one thing that I personally experienced that I found to be very frustrating is that prescribing pain relief medication when you have a injury is not addressing the major cause of that dysfunction. Okay? And this is something that I talked about at that point as well. This isn't to say that all pain relief is bad, and I'm not saying that at all. I think there's a time and place for that, for sure. There's chronic pain. I totally understand that. But I think the tendency, and this is not even insurance related, even though insurance factors into this equation a little bit, but the tendency to overprescribe pain relief medication rather than try to address the problem and take this more complicated approach that requires you to.
Okay, so yeah, back pain is serious business. If you've known anybody who's had a slip disc or any kind of alignment issue, any sort of
weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
So this is the manifesto.
NYPD detectives.
I mean, it might be interesting to look at it, but at the same time, this is not something I can do. YouTube does not take too kindly to looking at that. I'm not sure if I want to read the manifesto of I mean, this is a troubled guy. Let's be real.
Are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further.
And while, you know, his trouble with the insurance industry is very understandable, I don't know. It feels weird.
This apprehension is thanks to the tireless work of the greatest detectives in the world. And of course, the strong relationships we have with our local law enforcement partners on every level, local, state, and federal. We all serve the same public safety mission. And this case, which captured the attention of an entire nation, is another example of how connected we are and how important it is to work together, share information, and pursue every lead.
I think the best part is that the guy was far from a recluse, yet not a single soul who knew him came forward to the authorities. Apparently, they probably recognized him immediately and were just like, I ain't giving up shit. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Straight up. Hey, do your job, okay? If you want to find him that bad, maybe figure it out, okay? But I'm not helping you.
For just over 5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of...
Yeah, the attention that the nation gave to this story is not the type of attention that she thinks is good, I will say. I don't think it was a positive... They had a positive association with him, not the victim.
Of hours of video, followed up on hundreds of tips, and processed every bit of forensic evidence, DNA, fingerprints, IP addresses, and so much more to tighten the net. We deployed drones, canine units, and scuba divers. We leveraged the domain awareness system, Argus cameras.
I love this like back patting that like all of these institutions always do after like some random McDonald's employees like, I recognize those eyebrows. He's being kind of sus. Like it literally is always like, we did so much. Yeah, it amounted to nothing. Like you did so much with your domain awareness system. And the only thing, the thing that got him caught was the fact that he didn't follow BDS. He should not have gone to the McDonald's in what is it, Toontown, Looney Tunes Town, whatever, in Pennsylvania. Okay, someone was like, I recognize those eyebrows. This guy's being kind of sus. I don't know what's happening there.
Altoona, right?
Yeah, they were searching in Atlanta. Italiophobia got him arrested. The guy saw his eyebrows and were like, those are too powerful.
And conducted aviation canvasses. And our detectives also went door to door, interviewing potential witnesses and doing the good old-fashioned police work that our investigators are famous for. This combination of old school detective work and new age technology is what led to this result.
New age technology. So they did employ the psychics, the crystal mommies, right? They got Marianne Williamson in on the case.
And we must also acknowledge the instrumental role the media and the public played in this case. The images that we share.
Oh, you look at how he's wearing that mask too, right? His nose is his nose covered? It looks like his nose is peeking out, right? That's not doing you much good.
Were spread far and wide, and the tips we received led to the recovery of crucial evidence. We should never underestimate the power of the public to be our eyes and our ears in these investigations. This is the third time in 3 weeks that a member of the public has seen something and said something and done something that led to a high-profile arrest. The triple stabbing homicide in Manhattan, the gunpoint robberies in Queens during which an NYPD officer was shot, and now this. Now, the case will continue through the criminal justice process. And while we are proud of today's accomplishment, we must, of course, remember that a family is in mourning. I want to again extend my sympathies to Brian's family, his co-workers, and all who knew him. Finally, I want to thank the women and men of the NYPD, especially our Detective Bureau personnel, with a strong assist from our intelligence analysts. We also thank the SAC of the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division, Leslie.
Wait, standalone complex? What is the SAC, chat? Are we talking about, tell me that Section 9 was not involved in this.
Rodriguez Bekshis. And I want to commend the staff of the Manhattan DA's office and especially DA Alvin Bragg. He has been working with us 24/7 on this case, and I am incredibly grateful for his partnership. I'll now pass it along to our great Chief of Detectives, Joe Kenny, who will provide additional information. Chief.
It was so peaceful up here, but now there are freaking communists.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. As the Commissioner stated earlier, a male was taken into
I think it's pretty funny what they're like, the NYPD was working tirelessly around the clock. Meanwhile, this is what the NYPD actually was doing, okay? Look, hold on. Dude.
Is this how they found the bear carcass too? Yeah, this is the same NYPD that could not pin the bear carcass onto a major political candidate. Even though his fingerprints were ostensibly all over that bike. So I don't know. Oh shit. So what just happened, chat? It went quiet. It's probably because the audio for this segment got claimed, I guess.
Look at this pic of them diving in a Central Park pond. Random guy in a rural Pennsylvania sees suspect in a public restaurant, calls the cops. NYPD diver comes out of Central Park pond 275 miles away and solemnly removes his snorkel. We did it, boys. Yeah. Tax dollars hard at work, baby. It's just like, it's so ridiculous. But of course, you know.
Oh, there was a song. That's why it went quiet.
Don't let these guys, don't let the truth stop you from, creating this narrative that we did a fantastic job and we deserve $700 billion, please.
custody today in Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning. He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione. He's a male, 26 years old. He was born...
Look, he's always going to be Luigi's Mansion to me.
...raised in Maryland. We know he has ties to San Francisco, California, and his last known address was Honolulu, Hawaii. He has no prior arrest history in New York. Members of the NYPD Detective Bureau are currently traveling to Pennsylvania with members of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to interview this subject. This case was brought to a successful conclusion based on the coordinated effort between numerous NYPD units, including the Intelligence and Counterterrorism.
Yeah. Felix says, wow, I can't believe the shooter was an attractive and courageous buffoon with beliefs that were all over the place. Not, what is this, your first day in America? Yeah, I mean, it is the most expected thing. Listen, once I saw in my lifetime an actual trans person do a school shooting, I was like, oh, this is like an introduction to being an American, okay? Like, that's it. Dude, America is the land of mass shootings and gun violence, okay? This is the number one thing that we do, all right?
Oh, shit. Chat, it looks like we've got some video. This just in, right? We got some video of the suspect being taken into custody and interrogated.
Suspect confirmed. Cuff it.
They got him. They got him.
Guess the drug was too strong. Wake him up. No dozing off. You still don't get it, do you? Give it up! Come on, cooperate. What, you want another shot? What about the camera? Are you thinking it can be used as video evidence?
Anyway, that's we'll get back to that later.
Have no consistent, clearly defined political. What he posted off screen first? Wait, what? No, there's no way this is actual. If you see this, I'm already under arrest. Luigi Mangione. Okay, dude. No.
Randall Smith says 2 words: jury nullification. They're gonna. Okay, so the prosecutor is gonna be. They're gonna be really trying to eliminate anyone from the jury pool who might, feel sympathetic.
Oh no, this is a meme.
But yeah, there is a lot of, that being said, this guy has become sort of a folk hero.
This is a meme, I suspect. Yeah. I don't think this is a real I don't think this is a real account, dude. Let's look at the activity of it first.
I'm still waiting for the oh god, that's a YouTube account. I'm still waiting for the, oh my god, what's it called? The Goodreads.
Wait, what the join January 20th, 2024. One video, 198 subscribers. Yeah, this is like nothing on it. No, this is yeah, he's posted up with Starbucks on the image too. I mean, not Starbucks.
God, this guy really hates BDS.
McDonald's on the image. No shot. Sorry to all the leftist writing reader shooter fanfics where he's super woke. No, it doesn't matter. This is something that I was trying to explain. The reception of the broad reception of this otherwise violent act, okay, did not have to be directed by someone who is a card-carrying communist or some shit like that, okay? It doesn't matter. What matters is that this issue is uniparty. People from all different backgrounds, people from, different age groups. The Debras and the Barbaras on Facebook were celebrating this action. Ben Shapiro's viewers in the comment section were celebrating this action. Because the reality of the matter is, it doesn't matter. Unless you are literally one of the richest out there, you are never going to be sheltered from the lecherous nature of healthcare profiteers. It's impossible. It's virtually impossible not to be impacted in a negative fashion by the for-profit healthcare insurance industry in this country. Okay? That's why it doesn't matter what his political background is. Okay?
Bureau, our federal partners at the FBI, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and of course, members of the Altoona Police Department in Pennsylvania. On Thursday, one day after this crime was committed, the NYPD released a photo of the shooter in this case. This picture was obtained by the NYPD during one of their extensive video canvasses. We took that photograph and we asked for the public's help in identifying this.
Yeah, the Debras and the Barbaras together at last.
Subject, and the public responded. Hundreds of tips began to pour into our hotline. Each tip was investigated thoroughly, and we began to release additional photographs as they came into our possession.
Yeah, here, look.
The NYPD provided these photos to numerous.
Yeah, the NYPD, we did such a good job. Yeah, by the way, the CEO shooter cousin is Nino Mangione, super conservative Republican member of the Maryland House of Delegates. Here's a photo from Nino's campaign website. Luigi appears to be in the back left with a checkered shirt. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Boop. Computer, enhance. Ridiculous accent. He's faking it. I agree.
Is that actually in the mansion? Is that actually in Luigi's mansion?
He's finally getting someone better to celebrate than Christopher Columbus. Yeah, apparently he had like a 2-page manifesto as well, which we'll cover in a second. What we know about the suspect arrested in the killing of the CEO of United Healthcare, a 26-year-old Ivy League graduate from Maryland, was arrested at McDonald's in the killing of Brian Thompson. The suspect is Luigi Mangione. Thompson's murder of a Midtown Manhattan street in broad daylight shocked many Americans, but also sparked a torrent of outrage aimed at the U.S. profit-driven healthcare industry. This is something that I think people need to examine and need to understand. This doesn't happen in America, where someone very clearly in broad daylight does a crime, and that Americans that are normally so geared towards punishing every criminal, no matter what their motivation is, no matter what that criminal did, turn around and go, hold on, let's take a step back And
let's hear this man out.
Let's really think about who the villain and who the victim is, okay? That's it. That is truly unique. Americans love law and order. They are positively Hitlerian when it comes to that sort of shit. And this was the one instance where I was like, damn, everyone, regardless of their political allegiances, regardless of their age, regardless of their culture, have been so very clearly over by healthcare by for-profit healthcare companies that they just literally champion this guy as a hero. Okay?
But it does seem that he has some ill will toward corporate America.
Over here, sir.
NJ?
Wait, what did they?
Is any specific
Killing him.
Shooting first, and then we'll. Mark?
I had a couple questions about the document that he was found in possession with.
Also, notice the irony of Eric Adams, a literal fucking criminal, up on stage there, allegedly.
Can you go a little bit more in depth about those motivations that you mentioned? Was that CEO specifically named in that document? Was there anything more about him wanting to go after others? And also in that document, was there any indication that explains us how the level of detail that he went into killing him? Like, is there anything?
Like I said, that document is currently in the possession of the Altoona Police Department as part of their investigation. But just from briefly speaking with them, we don't think that there's any specific threats to other people mentioned in that document. But it does seem that he has some ill will toward corporate America.
Over here, sir.
NJ?
Chief, was the suspect wearing a mask at the time he was spotted in the McDonald's? And also, criminal cases often have a linchpin. Can you point to a single linchpin that helped crack this case?
There's numerous linchpins in this case, in the fact that we've recovered an enormous amount of forensic evidence.
Oh my God, chat. Now listen. McDonald's franchises, many of them look the same. All right. But I can't help but notice how much. Wait, where was Trump's McDonald's? That was in Pennsylvania, wasn't it? Where did Trump go? Like, it looks so much like I could see Donald Trump popping his head out the window serving fries.
An enormous amount of video, and once again, with your help and the public's help. So I really couldn't put it on one thing, but if I had to, it would be the release of that photograph from the media.
You said he had a passport on him. Do you believe he was trying to flee the country? And also, are you still looking for any evidence in Central Park in regards to the bike?
We had divers in the water yesterday. That came up negative results. The passport, we don't believe that he was planning on doing any traveling at this time. We don't think at this point in our investigation, we don't think he was trying to flee the country.
The person at the McDonald's, were they buying food? What were they doing at that exact moment?
He was an employee at the McDonald's.
Right. But what was the suspect?
It's Pennsylvania.
Sitting there reading.
Will the suspect be brought back to New York and charged here? And when?
We're going to have to work that out with the Manhattan District Attorney's.
Okay, so it looks like it was the Philadelphia area, so not Altoona. It does look similar to the, but again, McDonald's tend to look somewhat the same.
Pennsylvania, he's going to be facing gun charges there, and at some point we'll work out through extradition to bring him back to New York to face charges here, working with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Anita from the New York Post. I was just hoping to get more details on the capture itself. Did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to cops? And we've also reported that he published online anti-health care industry rantings. Can you share with us some of the services that?
Yeah, this guy. I'm gonna predict it now. This guy was an RFK voter. That's my prediction.
We're still working through his social media. We're going to do a complete scrub of that. Preliminarily, like I said, he seems that he has some ill will toward corporate America, but that will all come out as part of our investigation. We're not done here.
A little bit of ill will towards corporate America, sure.
Together, we're still going to be working very hard to bring this to a successful conclusion.
But I don't actually know if that's true, right? I mean, he's mad about his situation. He might not have connected to the larger corporate world, right? He might just be, angry at the, I mean, there's no telling, right? When somebody has a bad experience, there's a tendency to localize that bad experience, even if it is even if it is not endemic to just one healthcare company. Now, the UHC is maybe has maybe denied, is setting records as far as the claims that they deny. But yeah, I don't know if he necessarily connects it to like the even to the larger healthcare industry or to more so towards corporate America. Remember, this guy's like a Elon simp, so.
Did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to police?
I don't have that information.
Sorry, can you elaborate on how he got there, the path he took from Port Authority and on the George Washington Bridge to Altoona, PA? Same thing.
This just happened this morning. We'll be backtracking his steps from New York to Altoona, Pennsylvania.
I was going to ask if we knew anything, if he took a bus to Philadelphia first and then somehow got to Altoona.
I love these press conferences because they're always like, we can't either like, we can't give you that information, like we're not going to tell you that yet, or they're like, we don't have that information. It's just like,
We're still working on that. We're still working.
Still working on that. Sorry.
Is there any indication that
The
anybody
McDonald's
else was
employee
helping
that
him
snitched.
from the inside, as far
There we go. That's what I was saying.
Once again.
Classic. I knew it. Maybe that was the McDonald's that Trump went to a PA McDonald's too, bro.
And look, this should worry people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk, right? This is a sign that their veneer of anti-establishment politics may be closer than they think to actually falling down, right? That if Americans start to connect this to like broaden the scope of their displeasure beyond United Healthcare, beyond the healthcare industry, into the larger corporate American structures. In other words, if we start to pin the tail on the capitalist, that is going to be a very different political environment that potential J.D. Vance, candidacy in 2028 will face. And all that's missing for that recipe is a populist left-wing candidate, Democrat or otherwise.
I knew it. That guy. You know what? I'm gonna QRT that. That's a banger tweet right there. Thanks for the hat. Thanks for the hat tip. Okay, hold on. Is that the right term? Hat tip? Is it hat trick? No, hat tip. Right? I don't know.
Tip of the hat.
I don't
know what he's talking about. There we go. That's a pretty good tweet. That's a pretty good tweet.
Hat trick means you scored. Yeah, I mean the assist. Why didn't bro dye his hair?
Into actually building the case as far as cell phone and all of the other technical aspects of what you've done.
In this case, it really came down to technology was the use of drones in Central Park, and really comes down to the video canvas that we did. We used every source of video that we could collect, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours from hundreds of sources, and that helped bring this to where we are right now.
The gun is it believed to be the gun he used in the shooting? And there was some talk that it was a veterinarian type gun. Is that accurate?
No, as of right now, the information we're getting from Altoona is that the gun,
I'm sorry, veterinarian type gun?
Appears to be a ghost gun, may have been made on a 3D printer. The capability of firing a 9mm round, obviously that will come out during our ballistics testing.
Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver Barnes from the Financial Times. Do you have any indication like how long this handwritten, is it a handwritten manifesto that you found on the suspect? And then also...
So Republican shooters are 1 for 3 this year, shaking my head. Yes. They are 1 for 3. Friend activity, Luigi Mangione, B2B featuring Tinashe, Charlie XCX. Brat, and it's completely different. Oh,
what?
He was all over the Brat Summer vibes, it seems. He was blasting Brat Summer. It's kind of funny because, like, this is, as someone also pointed out in the chat, like, this is not the normal profile of this, like, weirdo shut-in that wants to make a name for themselves by, like, doing an either high-profile assassination or just, like, the regular thing that Americans normally do, which is, like, shoot up a school, right? Like, this is very clearly a motivated individual. Like, there is a harm that was done to him, it seems, that Americans immediately recognized as well, and he took direct action, and so it is like it's a he doesn't fit like the profile of the normal.
Chatter says they're going to use this to restrict 3D printing. I don't know.
Shut-in guy experiencing like
like in terms of even addressing like the availability of guns in this country, it is kind of a third rail, despite the fact that the opinion polls might say otherwise.
Mental health care episode or some shit like that, which is why there are going to be in the upcoming days so many people that come forward to be like, I know him, I grew up with him, I went on a date with him, he's a really chill guy, you know what I mean? Like regardless of his like indecipherable politics, I think many of you, especially in this community, don't understand that like the average American has, what do I always say? The median voter has political opinions that are inherently contradictory to one another. Okay. That's why so many people.
Yeah. There's not a lot of synthesis going on in the mind of the median American voter, let alone the median American, which, reminder, almost half the country doesn't vote at all. So there's not a lot. If to have contradictory viewpoints is actually more of the rule than the exception.
Even on like the QAnon side, will be like, I hate for-profit insurance, and that's why I'm voting for the Republican Party to deregulate healthcare. It's like that doesn't make any sense, but that's American politics. I
mean, lest we forget, Aiden Ross's stated reason for supporting Trump. Like who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? Like he might have gotten paid for all we know, right? But Aiden Ross's stated reason was that he was against the rollback of Roe v. Wade, and he blamed Biden for that rollback because the rollback happened during the Biden administration. He somehow, in his twisted little mind, thought that Biden had taken down Roe v. Wade.
How it is. Mangione YouTube channel video posted an hour ago is his real account. I don't know if it is. His Twitter had people looking for him, indicating he might have gone off the deep end mentally. Yeah. I hate the concept of ghost guns, but it makes this story much cooler. The whole thing is like a big cyberpunk vibes. No, it actually turns this into a Shinzo Abe doohickey situation, but except because in the United States of America, you can just like make your own gun. He ended up having a ghost gun rather than a Shinzo Abe doohickey. You know what I mean?
How would they restrict 3D printing? Like, is that even possible?
In America, you don't have to make a doohickey. You could just make a gun, like a real straight up gun.
Whether or not he put it online at all?
Don't know if it's online. As of right now, it's a handwritten 3-page document.
Chief, does he have ties to that area, and was he someone who you knew by name before his arrest?
We believe he may have attended college in Pennsylvania, but like I said earlier, he has ties to Maryland and California and Hawaii.
And you knew him by name before today. Was his name on your radar?
Excuse me?
Was his name on your radar? Was he someone who you had been looking into before his arrest?
No, we did not have his name prior to today.
Brent, okay. Does he have any prior arrests? I know there were none for New York City, but is there any prior arrests anywhere else in the country?
We have not come across any arrests in the country.
Chief, hi, how are you? On two things. On the ghost gun, is it something you're going to be looking into to see if he made it himself and can he make that himself? Or, Chief, hi, how are you? On two things. On the ghost gun, is it something you're going to be looking into to see if he made it himself and can he make that himself? Or would he have to buy the gun the way it was?
No, once again, that'll be part of our investigation as we follow up.
Again, this is what's so frustrating about covering breaking news is that, like, you get bad information, you get no information, you get a bunch of questions from reporters and no real answers from the... I mean, this is essentially just the NYPD doing a victory lap. That's all that they want to be here and be like, we got the guy. Everybody that says that we suck and that our bloated militarized police budget is justifiable. Well, we got him.
Obviously, he's going to face murder charges, but is there any chance that he could face any other charges because he was targeting the CEO and because of his writings and other things that we're now finding?
You want to upgrade his charges based on? This reporter is kind of fucked. Like, yeah. I'm like, he didn't just kill anyone. He killed a really important person. Shouldn't that get him a few more years in jail?
On him. Federal charges or
That determination will be made by Alvin Bragg.
I mean, literally, yes, that will make it more likely, right? If there's a crime committed against somebody that is disempowered, that is marginalized, generally the sentence will be lighter, and the likelihood of the case being solved is less so, right? This is something that really does go on in America, but like that reporter is almost like horny for it.
Listen, all I'm
upgrade those charges. He didn't just kill a normal person; he killed a CEO.
My man had no prior charges. Okay, no prior charges, no capacity to reoffend. It seems like this is a one and done, a real crime of passion. Okay, what do you mean? Like,
I mean, I wish that's how our justice system worked.
Anti-CEO being considered a part of the hate crime statute is something that you would expect from America, honestly. Like, we should put CEOs in a protected class of their own.
I don't think it's even about any laws or anything like that upgrading the charges. I think it's literally in the mind of a prosecutor, in the mind of a judge, the commission of such a crime against a wealthy person, a person of great influence, is going to be thought of as more grievous than if it's just some rando.
People of means, people of wealth, POWs. This is anti-CEO action, and CEOs should be classified as a protected category, protected class. Rich people across the board should be classified as a protected category. I feel like we will inevitably get there if things get even more dramatic and things escalate even harder. I fear that we will inevitably get there. But before we get there, we'll probably make cops into a protected class of their own. There has been some Republican initiatives in the past that do that. So, and it has been successful in certain places. The real POCs are no longer people of color, but it's people of class, and not the working class. People of capital. POC. People of capital.
Yes, what connections does he have in Pennsylvania that you know of? Are they in Altoona specifically?
We believe he attended college in Pennsylvania.
Does he know anybody in Pennsylvania?
Wouldn't be able to tell you that.
All right, we're going
to. Are you trying to get me banned from Twitch? Yes.
Is there, what you talk about the manifesto having said things against corporations, but specifically United Healthcare, and do you believe that Mangione acted alone?
We believe at this point, our investigation is leaning toward he was acting alone. So, like I stated earlier, we're still working through the investigation. We're not stopping today.
Yeah, my prediction is that the manifesto is going to have smoke more for not like corporate power in general, but for specific corporation. It's going to be more of this WEF kind of stuff.
As far as the manifesto, like I said, I don't have the complete details of that. It's in the possession of the Altoona Police Department.
We're going to shift to
Good job, Chief. Commissioner. Chief Maggi.
Yeah, get back up there.
"26-year-old Luigi Mangione." A nationwide manhunt has been underway since Thompson was shot and killed outside a New York City hotel on Wednesday. Now police are saying they're questioning Mangione in Altoona, Pennsylvania, saying, among other things, he was carrying
New York City, the Altoona of America.
fake IDs, a written document, and a gun similar to the one used in the assassination-style killing. I want to bring in ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky, covering the story for us from the very beginning.
Oh, shit. They found his valedictorian speech, bro.
Oh, no.
Well set. Congratulations. Thank you.
Watch that manifesto end up being some Pulitzer Prize level critique of the American healthcare system. I doubt it. I don't think this guy is. I mean, he is definitely a big reader, but given his STEM background, I highly doubt it. And given his political associations, I highly doubt that he is a great writer.
Headmaster Smythe, Mr. Hubeck,
Members of the Board of Trustees, family and students, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Gilman's 116th Founders Day. I'm honored to be asked how they would describe the class of 2016. Many of the students characterized our class as inventive, in both imagination and initiative. At the same time, several teachers reminded me of our class's commitment to Gilman and its traditions. I came to realize that both views are correct. The class of 2016 is truly defined by its inventive, pioneering mentality that accompanies a strong commitment to Gilman tradition.
Hassan Abi there's someone who, oh my God, the CEO shooter is getting extradited from Altoona. This is State College, PA, with New York State cops and PA State Police. Okay, guys, don't get into trouble. Like, you know what I mean? Calm down.
Is that a Hassan Abi head, like, filming the extradition?
Throughout its time here at Gilman, the class of 2016 has been coming up with new ideas.
And he's being framed. I was chilling with him on Wednesday. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think this man is innocent. Okay, it seems like he's innocent. I think he's the fall guy. They found a handsome man. They found a handsome man with bushy eyebrows, and they were like, "This is the guy who did it."
Challenging the world around it. Our selling of Chick-fil-A during lunch, arguably the staple of our class.
Wait, what? Can't be class of 26 is too young? Wait, what? No, he had a master's. Oh, you found the video.
Provides a great example.
Because it was so peaceful up here.
In our sophomore year, when brainstorming ways to fundraise, we didn't just settle for the usual methods of selling spirit shirts and Christmas trees. In addition to this, we did what seemed impossible given the...
Yeah, he's 26.
I'm sorry, but...
He's 26 years old now. This is him at cell chatter. Luigi Mangione.
I'm sorry, I got no interest in his valedictorian speech.
Are you single? You make us engineers have hope, says Pen Crushes. May 1st, 2019. He says, despite all my best efforts, yup, still single. Okay? If you're not... The real person who can save him is Kathy Hochul. And Kathy Hochul already... Lolo is representing him. This is not a drill.
Anyway, chat. That is the coverage. That is what we know at the moment about Luigi Mangione, Luigi's Mansion. And yeah, we're gonna move on now and talk more about the corporate ruling class and their recent success in the election. Donald Trump, billionaire Donald Trump's election, has ushered in the power of Elon Musk, who it turns out had maybe a lot more than we realized to do monetarily with Donald Trump's success in the 2024 election. I'm going to change the title here in shorts, and we're going to move on to our next topic. Elon Musk and the business plot to elect Donald Trump. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. We're going to watch some breaking points. This is Crystal Ball.
The last campaign finance reports are in.
Talking about Jon Stewart and Bernie in a little interview that happened on The Daily Show.
And we now know exactly how much Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, paid in order to elect his man and secure his own whole sweeping government mandate. According to federal filings, the grand total is more than $250 million. Now just think about it. Miriam Adelson was able to buy the entire U.S. foreign policy apparatus, apparently, for a mere $100 million. So you can only imagine what Musk is getting for the virtually unlimited fortune he plunked down on Donald Trump.
Our government is now officially pay to play. I mean, it always was in some way. There always was a lot of control of capital over the electoral system, an undue amount of influence. This has gotten progressively worse since 1980, when money, the spigots were really turned on money in politics, and now it's just absurd. Now it's absolutely absurd. When we're looking at the data from the election, Trump's lead, which at first was a majority, right, over 50% of the vote, now with more votes counted, has shrunk down to a plurality. He's got more percentage than Kamala Harris, but not over 50%. It's now looking like it's under 2%. Was the amount that Donald Trump won by? So this 250 million probably had a lot to do with Trump's election.
Behalf. After all, given the closeness of the race, one must assume this level of investment likely secured Trump the White House. What's coming into focus as we learn more details is a sort of billionaire coup. Because Elon is, of course, just...
So I'm going to be really careful about saying billionaire coup. I don't want to be, spreading misinformation or sounding like I'm doing election denial or anything. I will call it a billionaire plot, right? I will call it a business plot. And again, this is a reference back to the business plot in the 1930s or 40s to take down the Roosevelt administration. There was a real plot made by American businessman to try to get Smedley Butler, a decorated general from World War I, and the nominal head of what was called the bonus army, right? These were World War I veterans who were promised a bonus and never given a bonus, right? To essentially exercise a coup against the Roosevelt government, which is kind of wild, right? And luckily for history, right? Especially considering that FDR's role in World War II is that Smedley Butler exposed the business plot. He did not go along with the business plot. He was offered ostensibly a lot of money to help enact a coup against FDR, and he didn't do it. Now, none of these assholes, none of these business fuckers that planned this out and tried to take over the country, none of them went to jail. It was too much of a situation where, I don't know, putting them in jail would have maybe, caused backlash, or I don't know. It just didn't seem like the government was very sure of itself. But yeah, so nobody paid the price for, essentially an attempted coup. But it did happen, and it was foiled by the guy that they wanted to, enact the actual physical coup, Smedley Butler. Now we have a new business plot by Elon Musk, by Donald Trump, by all these fuckers. And it actually worked. And they're going to take over the government in January, right? I'm not going to characterize that as a coup. I mean, the votes are what they were. But I would say that Americans should think long and hard about the fact that $250,000 was spent by one person to support the candidacy of one Donald Trump.
One of a rapidly expanding cabal of billionaires who have already been given plum gigs in the incoming Trump administration, earning slots that will allow them to directly plunder the federal government for their own benefit. In addition to these official roles that these plutocrats will occupy, they are also reportedly serving as headhunters for the incoming administration, helping to staff lower-level jobs with their cronies and ideological allies so that the
Yeah, Punk 661, I'm sorry, but you just can't compare anything, right, to this, right? Look, what you can do is point to the fact that we've got money influencing politics. It's gotten worse since the 80s. Once these billionaires and millionaires and corporate fuckers get their foot in the door, they make it worse and worse and worse, right? In other words, a little bit of corruption, a little bit of money in politics opens the door to more money in politics, makes it more brazen, makes it more easy to do. But what you can't do is go and be like, well, what about Oprah? Well, what about these people? What? There is no comparison. There is no comparison. Elon Musk, the richest person in the world, $250,000 dropped into one campaign. That shit is unprecedented. And you can also take a look at the people that Trump is nominating. They are billionaires, and they are the cronies of billionaires. And look, before, the country was kind of run, with money in politics, there's an undue level of influence of corporate America onto our politics. But now there's no middleman. Now they're literally naming these people to the cabinet. So, it's getting worse and worse. But no, I'm not saying this to excuse the corruption that's gone on for a very long time in this country. I'm not saying this to diminish that, right? But I am showing you that Elon Musk has brought us to a new level of corruption.
Our takeover is even more complete.
And that's not, look, could talk to you about billionaires and where their money comes from. I could point to the mechanisms of how capitalism works, that it's an exploitation machine, and you, the workers of the world, are the ones that are getting exploited. They don't get rich by accident. They get rich by fucking you over. They get rich by underpaying you and overcharging you. That is how capitalism works. It's an accumulation machine, and the accumulation of wealth gets worse and worse and worse. Now, I did point to Franklin Delano Roosevelt and some of the policies that were enacted during the New Deal, which kind of put a they kind of push the brakes on that a little bit. But during even the most progressive era of politics, when the top marginal tax rate was over 90% under a Republican, right? That tax rate was over 90% under Eisenhower. The wealthy still managed to accumulate more money and still managed to accumulate more leverage, allowing them eventually in the late 70s, early 80s to just like kind of, to be able to use their money more to corrupt the this is when we have the entrance of slush funds, of dark money, of all the rest of it. And it's just gotten worse and worse ever since, right?
Than it appears at surface level. Now, billionaire influence, of course, nothing new in politics. Without a doubt, though, this is the most overt transfer of government into the hands of oligarchs in our nation's history. It is my sense that Trump, desperate to avoid prison and not having ever been all that interested in ideology or governance to begin with, was happy to sell off different parts of his administration and is now sitting back to let this band of robber barons shape the government to suit their desires. Now, many of these unelected rulers, like the new AI...
But I guess what I was trying to get to with that is that Elon Musk, in particular, a lot of his fortune comes not just from exploiting workers, comes not just from running a business for profit, but actually comes from tax dollars, right? This guy has gotten his foot in the door to receive millions of dollars of your tax money. And that's what he's lined his pockets with. And that is a big part of why he's the richest man in the world.
And crypto czar David Sachs, they're Musk allies and friends who share...
It's part of the reason that he can drop $55 billion on a loser company like Twitter, lose a ton of money with it, drive the, push the, company down the drain. He's not making money from Twitter. But he can afford to do that. He can afford to throw billions of dollars away.
Similar,
and then a quarter $2 billion on Trump.
Illogical and self-interested goals. Quite a number of these goals are directly at odds with the alleged commitments of Trumpism. So where Trump claims to be a China trade hawk, Elon's vast fortune is so tied up with that of the Chinese government that his new partner Vivek once roasted him for jumping like a circus monkey for Xi Jinping. Where Trump courted union member support, Elon fired striking workers, something that Trump did cheer him for, and is currently fighting in court to end the body that governs worker...
Yeah, I know that Cenk Uygur and people like this want to believe that MAGA has a populist, at least a component to its coalition, and that there's a desire within the Trump supporters to, to maybe do something like get money out of politics. But I would say that's a veneer. Trump's populism is a veneer. He's not serious about that. It's a put on by a reality television star to keep himself out of prison, despite the fact that he's violated multiple laws, allegedly, and to, and to put the government of the United States in the hands of the literal billionaires that run our economy. So it's not bad enough that they run the economy and they corrupt our government. Now they're going to do it directly. Now they're going to be in the government. Now they're going to be slashing things that are good for workers and enriching themselves, which is essentially Trump's first administration. That was the only major thing that he got accomplished. Lowering taxes for billionaires. That was the only thing, substantial thing that he did.
Organizing in its entirety. And crucially, whereas Trump's ascendance in the Republican Party has come from bucking austerity politics, Elon and his cadre are fans of anarcho-capitalist leaders.
I really feel like she's buying too much into Trump's veneer.
Javier Milei and his shock doctrine approach. Now, if you're a billionaire, of course, what's not to love about Milei? He's slashing the social spending programs that make workers less desperate for whatever abusive, poorly paid gig to corporate titans that are willing to provide them. He's privatizing core government functions, creating more opportunities for oligarchs to siphon off of public funds. And he's slashed the regulations that constrain greedy bosses from abusing workers and consumers and poisoning our air and our water. Crucially, Milei's also rolled back tariffs to the explicit praise of Musk, once again, polar opposite of Trump's stated program goals. Now, Trump's billionaire puppeteers seem to think they can smuggle this oligarchic agenda.
Okay, I know that, like, you know, you can find libertarians that are very anti-tariff. I do not think that that is a reason to support, you know, tariffs as a mainstay policy. These are, in a lot of ways, tariffs are an anachronism, and not. I mean, like, they can be used like for specific industries when you want to, you know, let's say there's an industry in the United States that's just getting off the ground, right? That's where some tariffs might have a positive effect to allow American businesses to be competitive. But the kind of tariffs that Trump is talking about and the utility of these tariffs, he's talking about tariffs as a replacement for taxes. In other words, he wants to cut taxes for millionaires and billionaires and impose massive tariffs that the estimation during the campaign was that they could cost the median American worker $4,000 more than their current tax burden over 1 year. So essentially, this is a big gift to millionaires and billionaires at the expense of the American worker.
Through the Trojan horse of culture war. That strategy was on prominent display recently when one of the billionaires informally advising Trump, investor Mark Andreessen, took to Joe Rogan's podcast in order to make the case for eliminating an agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has consistently stood up to business abuses of consumers. This agency, which has a comparatively small budget, mind you, has returned $21 billion to ordinary Americans in just more than a decade of existence. As we covered here with Matt Stoller, Andreessen hates the CFPB precisely because the work it does protecting consumers has been inconvenient for some of his scammier business investments. But instead of making the kind of unpersuasive case that he and his allies should just be able to plunder unimpeded, he instead made up a lie to play to one of the right-wing culture war issues du jour and claimed that the CFPB was debanking conservatives for ideological reasons. That's not even a power the CFPB has, and on the contrary, the agency's head has pushed back on ideological debanking. Nevertheless, Andreessen's lies were immediately picked up by the Doge crew. Vivek responded on X, the only right answer, shut it down. Musk concurred, delete CFPB. If there was any pushback from the MAGA base, I certainly did not see it. But if Musk really wants to slash
I mean, look, the thing about MAGA is that even if there is, like Cenk Uygur is always trying to put forward, a component of MAGA that is populist in terms of their disposition, it's too vibes-based and not literate enough about policy in order to make any meaningful difference. It's like for instance, the CFPB is attached to Liz Warren, right? And Republicans, when they hear Liz Warren, they're like, "Oh, Pocahontas, ho, gotcha." That's Pocahontas's thing. It's vibes-based, right? Because it's connected to Elizabeth Warren, it's bad. We don't like Elizabeth Warren. The CFPB must be bad. Instead of really like looking into the CFPB and what it's actually done for American workers, which is a lot.
$1 trillion from the budget, or anything close to that. Much more must be targeted than this agency, which even if deleted in its entirety, comprises a grand total of 0.031% of that $2 trillion goal. So it should be no surprise that the billionaires have set their sights on the longtime conservative fantasy of cutting Social Security and Medicare, contra to Donald Trump campaign promises. Now on Twitter, Elon reshared a lengthy thread from libertarian Mike Lee, making Paul Ryan-style conservative arguments attacking the foundations of Social Security. Meanwhile, Vivek has argued that they could slash hundreds of millions of dollars from Medicaid, Social Security, and Medicare through what he describes as, quote, basic program integrity measures. Republican members of
basic program integrity measures. No, let's be real. Let's be real. You're talking about denying people who have no other recourse for healthcare, that healthcare. That's what Medicaid does. The one good, the one truly shining aspect of Obamacare,
but now there are freaking communist invading radicals,
which I feel like is a watered down version of what Obama was signaling that he was going to do in terms of healthcare reform, is the Medicaid expansion. It is taking a program and expanding it to the states that were willing to accept that expansion in order to pay for the medical care for people that do not make enough money to pay for, their medical care any other way. Social Security. Dollars can be cut from social. Do you know how Social Security works? It's called an entitlement, but that's kind of misleading. When we think of entitlement, when we think of somebody who's entitled, we think of somebody wanting something that they don't deserve, that they haven't earned, etc. Right? Social Security is literally money that, you or, your parent has put away into a fund throughout their career and is withdrawn at the time that it's needed, either, in the case of a death of a parent or in the case of old age and retirement. And before we had Social Security, old people died in misery, unable to afford, what they needed. And so cutting Social Security to pay for tax cuts for billionaires is a literal and undeniable theft of essentially people's retirement. And that's what they're planning to do.
Congress are rushing to back them up in this assault on our most popular, successful programs.
We got to bring the Democrats in and talk about Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. There's hundreds of billions of dollars.
And I wish I could tell you that the Democrats, by and large, were principled and were dedicated to defending these programs. I wish I could tell you that the Democrats were still loyal to the post-Depression consensus, where these programs were seen as very important, and they were it was a third rail if you wanted to cut these programs. If anything, they needed to be expanded, right? I wish I could tell you that was the Democratic Party. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party in many ways is it rivals, but does not exceed and does not match the Republican Party in terms of its pro-corporate disposition. So I am very worried that this is the one kind of issue that where Democrats would be like, oh yeah, we'll show America that we can work together with Trump and the Republicans to fucking cut their Social Security. And look, there is a way to save Social Security, right? There are problems in Social Security in terms of demographics, that there are, more people going into retirement than there are people that are, entering into the workforce. But those problems are, the trust fund is still good until, years into the future. And if you want to, and after the trust fund is insufficient, it still pays 85% of what it's supposed to pay out. And if you want to fix it, the way to go about that is called raising the cap. What's the cap? Well, the cap means that on your Social Security, you pay a certain percentage into your Social Security. But if you were to make, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, your percentage would actually be lower. If we changed that and standardized that and said that, all income is going to be subject to the Social Security tax, then we would fix the program. And it would be done without hurting anybody who, anybody who doesn't have, it would take it out of the wealthy rather than taking it out of the poor.
Do it. We just have to have the stomach to actually take those challenges on.
And why he's saying the stomach is he's going to hurt Americans. He's going to impoverish Americans entering into their retirement.
But we can't just talk about our discretionary budget. That's less than 25% of our budget. We have to have some real hard discussions.
Well, we talk about this all the time. It seems like we're constantly talking about where to cut.
Yeah, TLDR, if these people get their way, the United States,
but now there are freaking
the United States of America is going to turn into a hellhole.
And the fact that the fight over defense, do you believe that the defense budget should be cut?
I'm not a big fan of that. I think we could do things a lot better. But when you talk about what's happening in Taiwan.
So now this is why it's a problem for Cenk Uygur and yes, Bernie Sanders too, to engage with the Republicans in a way that is assuming that their desire to cut the defense budget is done in good faith. Look, yeah, the defense budget needs cut. They can't even account for where their money goes half the time, right? And it's a huge self-licking ice cream cone, you know, that it's an industry that's particularly grievous in terms of its ability to influence politics and ability to direct more funds towards the people who benefit from that, towards the people paying for that corruption. But, you know, it's not something that I think you should take the Republicans very seriously about, given the amount of rhetoric that Trump has deployed towards, you know, having the biggest, bestest military in the fucking world, right? If there's any campaign promise that is going to fall by the wayside, it's probably this, right? So, I mean, I see what Bernie's trying to do in, like, I don't know, maybe holding their feet to the fire on this. I just don't think it's going to be very successful. And I think by saying, you know, you agree with them on this and let's work together to do this, you're kind of giving it more credence than it deserves. Let's you know, make them prove their desire to cut the military budget, the defense budget.
What's happening in the Middle East?
But I mean, like right here.
What's happening with Israel? What's happening in Ukraine? This is an unstable place, an unstable time. We have to be very careful.
So not big on those defense cuts, but very open to the social programs cuts. What's more, in Elon and Vivek's quest to bring what they describe as a chainsaw to government spending cuts, the Doge duo are also threatening programs where specific funding authorizations have lapsed. That's an easy way, perhaps, to cut spending without having to go through those pesky, duly elected representatives in Congress at all. Now, I know everyone's for cutting federal spending in the abstract. Sounds good, right? Trim the fat, all that stuff. Sounds good.
I gotta say, why is the chainsaw going through Minnesota? Like, right? I don't know. The graphic's a little weird.
The reality can be quite harsh. Among the programs that could be slashed using Vivek's innovative approach are veterans health care, new drug development, opioid addiction treatment, housing assistance, and the Head Start preschool program that gives low-income kids access to early childhood education. Now, Trump's billionaires might not need these programs, but millions of Americans truly do depend on them. Now, there's
that healthcare and student loan programs. Do you think they won't touch that?
one large and vastly unaccountable area of government that I would personally be happy to see slashed, and that is the Pentagon. Now, Bernie Sanders and Ro Khanna have both signaled they would like to work to help Musk with this project if he's actually serious about it in an attempt to effectively call his bluff. But no one should delude themselves into believing that Elon Musk, who is himself one of the Pentagon's largest contractors, is earnestly interested in trimming the sails of the military. Pete Hegseth, too, Trump's nominee for the Defense Department, he's been portrayed as some sort of a revolutionary intending to hack away at the Pentagon. In reality, he's supported every war, including the Iraq War up until shockingly recently. He's articulated a desire to expand American militarism abroad and frequently couches his critiques of the Pentagon in culture war terms. What's more, Trump has reportedly picked another billionaire to serve as the Pentagon's number 2, a guy by the name of Steven Feinberg. Now, Feinberg has made millions with large investments in defense contractors himself. Now, in my experience, war profiteers don't tend to be inclined towards cutting back military spending or cutting back on endless wars. I suspect this crew will performatively cut some meaningless DEI program and then call it a day. After all, outside of like 2 people, Thomas Massie and Rand Paul, maybe there are a couple others, the Republican Party has no interest in cutting the defense budget. Trump himself increased it every single year while he was in office the last time. Jon Stewart made a similar point.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I fucking extra doubt on Trump, cutting the military budget.
When he was speaking with Bernie Sanders about finding the balance between trying to work.
And like I said, the vibes-based nature of the Republican coalition really, there's no accountability. This is what Jink is trying to say is that there's all these podcast bros out there and they're not just right-wing, they're right-wing populist, right? And that populist thing is something that he as a left-wing populist can agree on. And these podcast bros are going to hold their feet to the fire. The podcast bros are dumbasses. I'm fucking sorry. Joe Rogan doesn't know the words that are coming out of his mouth. They are not savvy. They are not literate enough. They are not educated enough. And they disdain that kind of shit to actually know when they're having the wool pulled over their eyes, which they definitely are here. So the idea that they're going to keep Trump on us somehow is just, we'll get to Jink and Anna in a second.
Trump and his billionaires when they claim to want to do something good, but also not getting played.
What Musk and Ramaswamy are proposing, boy, is something I've wanted for years. I'm just not sure those are the guys that I wanted to do it because maybe I don't trust their, I feel like they're too focused on woke or retribution or something along those lines and will go in there is it Democrats' inability to reform those processes that has opened the opportunity for this more nihilistic approach?
Yeah, Democrats are, in many cases, not all, defending a system which is broken, and people perceive that it is broken. And Trump says it is broken. Now, his remedies are going to make it even worse. And I think what I fear very much hasn't been discussed all that much. If I give you an example, the post office, the mandate of the post office is a very good mandate. It is to deliver mail to every house in America, no matter how rural it can be. It's a money loser, but it's the right thing to do.
So when people say that the government needs to function more like a business, right, which is a very popular piece of rhetoric, or kind of meaningless, but you'll hear a lot of people saying this. Bernie is giving you the reason why that's a bad idea. A business would not deliver to areas of the country that it's not profitable to deliver to. And thus they would disenfranchise, like you would not be able to get mail in those areas, right? The government should not operate like a business. That's
You can privatize the post office tomorrow, make it more efficient, and yet you will lose the beauty of what the post office is supposed to be. The challenge that we face is, can you have a post office functioning in the year 2024, which is efficient, which serves the needs of its customers? I believe we can. I believe we can. And I'm fighting for that. What these other guys, I suspect, want to do is privatize, 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 so they'll have even more power in the hands of the large corporate interests.
Look, I genuinely get the surface level appeal of Doge, and even of stacking your administration with billionaires, given the American mythology that financial success is indicative of general superiority. The truth is, though, with very few exceptions, your interests and the interests of billionaires are diametrically opposed.
That is something that I like to call the fundamental contradiction of capitalism. And that is something that the business interest does not want you to be aware of. They don't want you to ever understand that your interest as a worker is to get paid more and to have to work less, to be able to live your life more, right? That's your interest. The interest of your boss is for you to work longer hours for less money. And that's just irreconcilable. There's no way that you can say, well, but here's the, here's the synthesis of those two things. Here's any move that you make in terms of regulation is either going to lend itself more towards allowing workers to live a better life, or allowing businesses to accumulate more money and more power. And since the corporations are the one with the power already, since the corporations can basically buy our government just like Elon Musk did in this election, which way do you think that's going to go?
They want to degrade government until it no longer has the power to impede their plunder, to slash the social safety net programs that can take the...
And the reason that they're able to get away with this is because there's no class consciousness. People don't think of themselves as workers. They tend to think of themselves as temporarily embarrassed millionaires. They tend to think that there's more class mobility than there actually is, when statistics show us that there's not. That people don't rise from being like lower middle class to being a capitalist often at all. Everything is all of the dynamics are dead set against that.
Edges off of our vast inequality, while fattening their own coffers with contracts and subsidies, and guaranteeing a future filled with limitless automation and crypto scams.
BCatK, thank you for the Twitch Prime.
That funnel even more to the already rich. Musk and some of his friends, they've told Americans to prepare themselves for economic hardship thanks to their austerity program. But somehow it's never them and their rich buddies who are asked to participate in that shared sacrifice. But yes, by all means, let's ask the low-income 4-year-olds and our nation's veterans and seniors to sacrifice so that Trump's billionaires can execute a brazen smash and grab on our future. Trump has handed the keys over to the very globalist elites he once derided. And Sagar, this really gets at, there are a lot of tensions within the coalition.
Hey guys, if you want to see what
Anyway, so yeah, there's our coverage of the Trump administration for the day. We're gonna have to get to the Trump speech tomorrow. It's actually really interesting. Trump has proposed the idea of annexing Canada and Mexico. I'm not sure how serious he is about that, but people that are like, "There's no danger in Trump. How could you dare call him a fascist?" No, he just wants a little Lebensraum. That's all. That's all. That's all. He just talked about spreading the American empire. So anyway, we'll get into that tomorrow. For now, we got to go and talk about the TYT, the toxic duo, the disgusting duo of Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian, doing a little bit of a charm offensive in the right wing podcast sphere. So if you want to join us for that, and you're watching me on Twitch, sorry, on YouTube, on Shorts, here is the link to that you can hit right now if you want to come along with us and hang out. Right, we're going to be talking about we're going to be watching TYT, Anna and Cenk and their latest. Let's see, Anna was on Glenn Beck today. Cenk has been on PBD. Cenk has really been making the rounds. And people have noticed lately that before they were kind of trying to do it like a breaking points thing where you had Anna being like, "I don't like people calling Trump a fascist." And Cenk was like, "He absolutely is a fascist." Now, for whatever reason, they are both on the same side, and that is a right-wing side. So we're going to take a deep dive into that rabbit hole. You're welcome to join us if you want to. There's the link that you can click right now. I'm going to end the short stream, but we're going to continue on the other stream, which again, that's the link that I put in chat. I've also pinned the link. Possibly you will be rated into that if you stick around. I'm not sure if you will. So if you want to make sure, then click that link and open the full screen stream in your on your mobile device. So I will see you on the other side, Shorts chat. Let's go.